Thanks for watching Ben Television. The program is You Decide. We give you information, facts, and analysis, but at the end of the day, you decide. My name is Shegun Johnson, and I'm glad you are watching. There's so many things to discuss today. How about the British Prime Minister getting just married for the third time? And we want to look at what Dominic Cummings said against the Prime Minister and even himself. And we'll be looking at how seriously the Africans have taken the Chelsea and indeed the Premier League matters into their heart. We'll be discussing the amendment of Constitution in Nigeria. What's your take on that one? There's so many things to discuss today, but in the studio right now, we have our prominent men who are going to do justice to that. From the Petersburg, we have our man, Gossin Azu. Gossin, you're welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, Doc, and good morning, able viewers out there around the world. It's my great pleasure being here again this Wednesday. Splendid morning, very sunny, lovely weather for barbecue. I wish I can have one now.
Yes, I'm coming over to Peterborough. Don't worry. We have our in-house researcher, Nati Yako.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, and the last but not the least, a man from Milan, Mark. Is there a transition problem from Italy?
They are closing their borders. They are closing their borders.
They are closing their borders. Okay, please, someone, please. Can someone please tell the Prime Minister there to release Mark from Milan?
We are refusing Mark visa. He need to consult me now. Tell him to call me privately.
Okay, we'll get Mark from Milan to you very soon. Of course, it's no longer news that Chelsea won the European Championship, and the whole of England and indeed United Kingdom, they were rejoicing because whatever club you are, whichever way the cup has come back to the United Kingdom, full stop. But it appears that some Nigerians have taken this to another level that I have never seen this such in my life. What about people going to get Asoebi for Chelsea? Look at this woman dressed in her Chelsea outfit. Now you can see that they have gone to the textiles to print specially. This is nowhere near the jersey, but they have taken it upon themselves to go to the textile, make this design, and wear it on a day whether they didn't know whether Chelsea will win, but they were all adorned in their outfit. Let me quickly ask my colleagues: don't you think we have taken this football game too far in Africa, especially in Nigeria? Gossin, you want to go first?
Doc, you should know very well that football is one of the spiritual elements that is one of the greatest spiritual therapy. It's one of the strongest spiritual emotional well-being of Nigerians. Okay. In fact, no pastor or imam can make Nigerians happier than football.
When do you know that if Nigeria is playing a World Cup, they bring television to church so that on a Sunday they will bring the television to church so that people will come to church.
Doc, when there is football going on, as a matter of fact, whether it's Chelsea, Man United, or Arsenal, Boko Haram surrender their arms and watch football. Bandits go into their small holes and begin to celebrate the game. No bomb, no killing, no nothing. The day of any football, there is no killing. Even kidnappers are busy watching who is going to win because they've already put money at stake who is going to win. So that no kidnapping, no killing, concentrate on the game. So football is one element that can actually re-engineer the social engineering of Nigeria and the social
fabric of Nigeria. Let's listen to that.
And the fact is that they know more European football than Rangers International and ICC and Enyimba. They can tell you more about Chelsea than they can tell you about any of these local footballs.
Yes, I imagine. So, Nat, don't you think we've taken it too far? I mean, with these, Nat, what do you say?
Well, thank you so much. I just want to add to what Mazi has said. But I am concerned and worried. I know these individuals have their fundamental human right to do what they can do within the Constitution, but it is very unpatriotic and is not. It's still more of a colonial mentality, and for even a church, I want to believe that was really not a church service. It was just
you can believe what you like.
yes, I think it was just a Photoshop arrangement.
No,
as long as the pastor is leading the service.
Let me say this one. Let me say this one. It is a kind of acculturation. Acculturation is when cultures merge. So it's not colonialism per se. I know what you are saying because we have what we call cultural imperialism. But this one is not cultural imperialism. This one is acculturation, where I take part of your culture, you take part of my culture. I want to prove it to you because this next video clip you are going to watch is about Chelsea boys in England dancing to African music. Watch this one. So it's acculturation, not colonialism. So Nat, what do you say?
It's because there are Nigerian boys in the
team.
In the team, yes, and they promoted it. I don't know if there's any British boy in our team.
They promoted the Premier League in Africa, and so it's taking over now, isn't it?
But when they promote that in Africa, what did they gain? Is there any spillover effect to their purse or to their staff?
It's an emotional thing, isn't it?
Doc, I want to agree with you. Doc, I want to agree with you that acculturation is an element that most societies are adopting in now with regards to the world of football, where cultures are mixed or exchanged among nations to celebrate the beauty of victory at a football match. But what we're saying is that when Nigerians begin to take it to the church level and the mosque, it becomes something else. It's like interwoven acculturation with religious.
Let's look at what happened now. Many people know that Africans are very religious people, either Islamic or Christian or any other religion. They are so it's like they are expressing their thanksgiving to God for making Chelsea to win. Even someone said, oh, the enemies of Chelsea are now dead. So Chelsea has got enemies. But watch this one, because Mazi and Nat and I, we could not believe that they will take the Chelsea flag to a church. Even Nat has not yet believed. But this is not about me. Watch this video. Oh, my country, my country. Now, this is not a city church. This is by all means a fairly rural church. And even a member of the choir left her position, went to join the group to dance to the front. And Nat, if you were the pastor, will you pray for them as they come to front? They normally will kneel down and then they will pray for them. What will you do, Nat?
Again, as I said before, I don't think it's a church. It's something else. Or maybe a viewing center. Who knows?
I do disagree with Nat. That is a pure church in Nigeria, and I honestly want to see that. Even one of my former pastor, who is also a pastor very well, Pastor Aguiroku is a strong Chelsea supporter who can even mix service with football. He can sometimes they put when they are playing a very strong Chelsea game. Everybody comes to Jesus' house to come and watch it, and then you see the battle between Chelsea and the opponent club in the church after the game. So it depends on how you assimilate the information. But I think that is Chelsea supporters. It's very common in Nigeria that after some times when group of people win something, they go and do Thanksgiving. I'm sure few of them have put a bet on the game and have won some loads of money. And in order to thank God for Chelsea winning and making them rich, at least maybe 100,000 or 200,000 in their wallet, they need to come and give their 10% and give offering. Thanksgiving for winning.
But Mazi, here in England, especially London, nobody will take the matter to church, not even here. Abramovich, the owner of Chelsea, will not be taking it to the synagogue. Why do we go an extra mile beyond the whole world? Oh God. Well, we just, I mean, these are just a few of the video clips. There are tens and hundreds of video clips mocking Manchester City and all the rest, and which we cannot just have time to show our viewers. But it's the expression of Africans to go and thank the Lord for everything. And I think the worst is believing that, oh, the enemy is now dead. And
well, the enemy must be dead for you to give Thanksgiving, innit? So Man City is the enemy.
Oh, please, we just have to move on. We just have to move on. Now, last week, as we were having our program, Dominic Cummings was in the House of Commons making a presentation against the government he worked strenuously for. We know that Dominic Cummings was instrumental to Boris Johnson winning with a landslide, and many things have gone wrong between them, gone sour. Dominic Cummings has resigned, and now the table is turned. But we need to have a serious look at Boris Johnson governance and the appointment of Dominic Cummings, and now how the thing is panning out. Let us first of all listen to Dominic Cummings.
It is completely crazy that I should have been in such a senior position, in my personal opinion. I'm not smart. I've not built great things in the world. It's completely crackers that someone like me should have been in there, just the same as it's crackers that Boris Johnson was in there and that the choice at the last election was Jeremy Corbyn. It's also the case that there are wonderful people inside the civil service. There are brilliant officials all over the place, but the system tends to weed them out from senior management jobs. And the problem in this crisis was very much lions led by donkeys over and over again. The leadership, people like me and the Prime Minister and the Secretary of State for Health, we let down the people on the front line. And we let down those excellent officials as well. And we all should be asking, you guys in the political parties need to ask yourselves, what is it about your parties that give choices like Johnson versus Corbyn? And we have to ask, what is it about Whitehall that promotes so many senior people who are completely out of their depth?
Credit to Channel 4 there. You've had it all. Nat, you want to bring us up to date? Very few words. How the grape has turned sour, and Dominic Cummings, the great man of the past, has now become the great enemy of the present. What has gone wrong? Do you think there can be an amendment?
Well, I think let's start from saying Dominic Cummings was a strategist number 10, a special assistant or special advisor to Boris Johnson when the going was very good. But when Mrs. Johnson came into number 10, there was more of a power struggle as to who does what or who decides on what issues. And I think Dominic, on personal principles and the ideas he holds there too, he didn't feel he would be able to continue to perform his function in that type of toxic environment where they were daggers drawn with Mrs. Johnson. And I think all attempts to always give Mr. Johnson, the Prime Minister, superior argument, high quality decisions, well researched ideas. And the Prime Minister eventually, at the long, decided to listen more to his wife than his special advisor. And Comey had to leave before his due date, and then now try to bring to the public exactly what was going on in number 10. And some of this, he even said he didn't say everything about what was going on. But I think, on a personal note, in my own opinion, the Prime Minister has to subject himself to those serious allegations raised by Dominic. And I don't know what his privileges are. He may have to set aside his privileges and face the Commons Committee, which asked Dominic appeared before their front. The Secretary of Health, Hancock, has tried to brush aside those allegations as to how they handled COVID. But we really don't know. We are in a society where, at the end of the day, they were subjected to politics, and nothing will come out of these challenges. So that's my view for now.
Okay, thank you very much. Godson, the Prime Minister and his cabinet ministers are not responding to Dominic Cummings. All they were saying is that they're getting on with vaccine rollout and they're doing the best for the country. But all the various points that Cummings have said, they're not responding. It tells us that they are more interested in securing their jobs rather than listening to what reason is saying. Cummings said Matt Hancock should have resigned or be terminated because Hancock lied several times. Hancock said, "I did not lie," and full stop. Why don't we examine the facts of the case and judge whether he should be fired or not? Why is the Prime Minister shielding Hancock? Godson.
Well, I think all this boils down to the way. All this boils down to the way politics and system management is being run within the British governance system or governance structure. And obviously, every one of us knows very well that when it becomes very obvious that any member of the cabinet is or falls short of his or her expectations as a serving minister or sitting minister, is deemed to actually resign by himself or removed by the Prime Minister, when it becomes very, very clear that the personality of such minister would dent the rating and the performance,
the rating of the whole cabinet,
the whole cabinet and the government as a whole. And so, at the moment, until Matt Hancock's situation becomes clearly obvious, beyond personality clash, beyond some revenge kind of expressions, because a lot of people are seeing Dominic Cummings' statement at the inquiry as an attack, a well orchestrated attack on an individual and on the government as a whole. And I thought, at this very point in time, critical point in time, when they are trying to avoid any of those certain points that he has made to recall why he is still making these public statements. They decide to be very diplomatic about the situation. It's not that they are not aware of what he's saying. Some of them are aware of some certain comments he made. But then you look at somebody who have said that he himself is not worthy of being a special advisor, that he's not smart. So how come he was able to be the one that made it possible for Boris Johnson to get into number 10? And at that point, being able to be one of the strongest person around Boris Johnson. And it became obvious that he was so powerful that some people were not comfortable with him, and they made it possible for him to evacuate that seat. So for him, it's for him and some certain people, it's about him also doing whatever he can by saying all that he knows, which is not, even though he's not an elected politician, but he's also a politician who understands the way you can destroy.
Let me quickly ask you a question. The conservative government of Boris, they have decided not to reply Dominic, and I'm guessing for one major reason. They don't really know what else he has in store that he has not released. So it's like Cummings is waiting for them to say no to him, and then he will release more, and he will release more. Is that the reason why the government has been very cautious that, look, this man knows more than we know, so let us just keep quiet?
Well, it's an institutional culture in the British system that you do not divulge information or challenge public domain information once you are still in service. And so it's going to be difficult for anyone within the civil service or within the public service working in the cabinet to begin to challenge somebody who is outside the system, who also is aware and is knowledgeable of certain informations and certain classified, that what we call classified informations, and there are informations you can throw anyhow. This guy has an in-depth knowledge of some classified informations which they wouldn't want to go into.
They could have rubbished his position. They could have rubbished it and said, this is utter nonsense, arrant nonsense. This man is out of his depth. And why are they not coming out openly and strongly?
The fact is that there's some element of truth in some certain things he has said about, and they wouldn't want to challenge that publicly and make a public nuisance of the government and themselves. So it's a strategic way of trying to close the case itself, or trying to manage the inquiry process in order not to utterly destroy the whole work, good or bad, what the government has done so far.
In any case, Boris Johnson is having 81
crisis. So they know what they are doing.
He's having 81 parliamentary majority, isn't it? So he can afford to play with it. I mean, he has 81 parliamentary seats majority. He can afford to be a playboy.
Yeah, of course he can afford, but you have to avoid, because in this country you have freedom of expression, freedom of information. If they go too far, Dominic Cummings can go and pay a tabloid or a magazine company or whatever. They pay him millions of pounds to tell them the whole
truth.
And
then he comes out.
And then he goes everywhere, and then he's done his publicity. You get me? So they have to manage it.
Gossin, do you think this is the end of the story?
No, it's not the end of the story. It's like the BBC and Diana's death. You can see how long it took for people to know that actually the BBC and Diana's death was a matter of BBC conspiracy. You understand? So at the point, somebody will be paid to tell the story.
Let me quickly go to Nat. The British Prime Minister got married recently. You want to bring us up to date? Carrie Simons with a baby, and so some people say it's to cover Dominic Cummings' reports and the rest. What do you say, Nat?
I want to be honest with you, Dr. Johnson. I don't want to comment on this.
Why?
I just don't want to comment. No comments.
You mean on the wedding?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't have anything against Carrie Simons, do you?
I said I don't want to comment.
I thought I would get you. Matt, he doesn't want to comment on Boris Johnson's wedding to Carrie Simons. She's beautiful, isn't she?
See me? You see, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Azu. Azu.
Yeah.
I said Mrs. Johnson is beautiful, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful. I think I want to congratulate the Prime Minister for the wonderful wedding ceremony and for at least being a Prime Minister that has a legitimate wife in number 10, rather than having a concubine in the number 10 and playing a card with the woman. And as a Prime Minister, he needs to show his responsibility and his ability and capability to run a home, and at the same time run the government of Great Britain. And I believe following advice, because everybody knows that Boris Johnson is a playboy. He's a big-time playboy, and nobody can.
That is our Prime Minister you are talking about.
Nobody really can obviously predict his way of his how do I call it, romantic or married life in the last 20 years or so. And so for him to have abide by some advices to actually get this woman married and be a married man and put an honor to his prime ministership, I think is a good step forward for him, and hopefully he will be able to stick to it on to the end of his prime ministerial era. And if he wants to go out of it after that, that is personal business. I'm moving on.
Oh, but then, come on, Dustin, be generous to this. Be generous.
I'm generous to Boris. We have known Boris from the time he was mayor of London, so everybody knows me. Knows Boris the Boris. Boris the Boris is a lively guy. He's a guy that knows what he wants and goes after it, whatever it takes. And so, and as a goal-getter, he's find himself at the highest seat of governance in Western world, and he can do anything. He can do the undo, but he has to become a real man to be able to show that he has the capacity.
By and large, he's not doing badly. Of course, people will be talking about him, but he's not doing badly, is he? He's not doing badly.
He's not being, and I mean, I don't know what people are assuming him to have done by now. He's not a rocket scientist. He's not a miracle worker. I mean, he hasn't done any serious blunder at all. So, irrespective of his shortfallings and his inadequacies in some certain areas, just like Dominic Cummings said that he's incompetent, he doesn't have this or that. I'm sure if he's that kind of person in totality, I'm not sure he would have been able to survive the COVID situation up to now. He would have been.
Let me ask Mark. I
think he's done so much. He's done so much.
Now, you think Johnson is doing fairly well as a prime minister?
Well, you see, this COVID issue is still hanging on his neck. The number of people that died due to not making the right decision at the right time, eventually he has decided to have an inquiry on it, but it's not coming until 2022, summer or thereabout. So I think he is average.
So you're passing for 55%, isn't it?
No, that's not up to 55%. It's not
average. 55 out of 100.
It's average. That's average now. That's average. Or 45. Are you talking about 45?
Maybe 40.
Okay. Gentlemen, we just have to go on break right now. And when we return, Mark from Milan will be joining us. And then we'll be talking about the amendment to the Nigerian Constitution. Is it really an amendment Nigerians want, or they want a new constitution, or they just want everybody to go their separate ways? Don't go away. We shall be discussing serious matters.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. The articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better. The Inside Story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
Ben Television has been going for almost 2 decades now, representing the African, Caribbean, and ethnic communities in the diaspora, especially based in the United Kingdom. We have been providing content, various programs to empower, make an intervention, deliver, and enlighten the mainstream community about what it is to be a BAME in the United Kingdom. For almost 2 decades, this has been our ethos, bridging the gap. Now we seek for your support and partnership in delivering what we need to achieve in the coming generation for our youth, either through training, mentorship, empowerment for their entrepreneurial skill, talent, and in their business. Ben Television, bridging the gap, you're welcome to be with us. Thank you very much for joining and being partners of Ben TV, creating that bridge between the mainstream and the other communities in the United Kingdom and in Europe.
Thanks for staying with us. The program is You Decide, and you're still watching Ben Television. Now, the federal government of Nigeria has decided to amend the constitution, and they set up different geopolitical zones where conferences will be held, so that Nigerians, 200 million Nigerians, are given 2 days from their geopolitical zone to discuss what they want to see in these amendments. And a load of things were written down, over 50 of them. And you wonder, are they trying to write a new constitution or amend it or what? Let me ask Nat. Nat, could you please bring us up to date? But before you do that, we have our man from Milan. Mark, how are you doing?
Good morning, Dr. Segun. I'm great. I'm doing great. The weather is beautiful here in Milan, Italy, and I guess same for this western side of Europe. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm coming late. I missed the timing. I was thinking our time, UK, Italy has an hour variation. So I didn't get that right. All of a sudden.
I made that. Look, there is therefore no condemnation. I made that mistake. I was at the Eurostar at La Gare, and they said my train will be leaving in 1 hour. And I looked at my time. I was looking at British time. I missed the train. So I can forgive you.
Please, sir. Yes, but we have online. It's good to be back with all these great minds, Dr. Nat and my very good friend Mazi Azu. It's good to be here conversing and issues, very serious patent issues that affects our country, Nigeria.
Yeah, you are looking sharp anyway. Let me just say that. You're looking very sharp. All right. Nat, you wanted to bring us up to date to this amendment constitution initiated by the President of the Senate.
Yes. As we all know, the constitution of a country or an association or others is a set rule as to how the people want to conduct their affairs. So when we are now talking about the amending the Constitution of Nigeria, we are talking of the 1999 Constitution as amended. We know that Constitution The 1999 Constitution as amended was just a military decree that was turned into a constitution by 28 people who were then in the provisional ruling council, the military regime. And so what will be around now, 1999 to date, is around 22 years or thereabout. And Nigerians have kept complaining that this constitution is not what they want. They were not, their opinion was not sought by anybody for the 1990 constitution to be handed over to them. We had Obasanjo, who was sworn in with no constitution. We had the National Assembly not being able to be inaugurated for almost 6 days or thereabout because there was no constitution in 1999. And so, but when eventually, hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Okay, but when eventually the National Assembly came into place, Senate and the House of Reps, people started looking for amendments as far back as 1999 during Obasanjo's regime. But we have had only 1 or 2 successful amendments, and the amendments were very negligible. The people's challenges were not addressed. The people are saying, we want a constitution where we have an input. We want a constitution where it's the people's constitution, because the preamble of any constitution will say, we the people. This time around, the people are saying they were not there when that constitution was dropped on us. And so the ninth assembly, which is they're just going by the tradition, because it looks like all assemblies starting from 1999 to the 9th assembly here, the review of constitution have always come in, and the National Assembly members see it as a way of entrenching their own interest or an elitist type of document, because the man in the rural area does not even know anything about the constitution, and nobody has asked him for any input. But here we are in 2021. The National Assembly members, especially the Senate, started going around the 6 geopolitical zones, and they are still on 8. When they finish, they will aggregate the views of the people, and then come to Abuja for deliberations.
Thank you very much. It is very unfortunate that we are hearing that they never had a constitution in 1999 when Obasanjo was sworn in. This is impossible to believe. Had we not had it from Nwodo, the representative of Ohaneze. Ohaneze is trying to tell us that in 1999, Obasanjo was not sworn in with a known constitution. Abdul Salam, the outgoing president, military president, quickly put some things together and call it the Nigerian Constitution. Of course, that document has become a problem rather than a solution. But let's listen to Nwodo himself as a representative of Ohaneze telling the whole world that there was no constitution, that Obasanjo was sworn in.
Selected to write a constitution, wrote a constitution. 40 people in the Supreme Military Council promulgated a constitution for us. Under General Abubakar, government in which I served, I was in Executive Council. I never saw the draft constitution. And I was Minister of Information. It was my responsibility to publicize it to the country. On the day of swearing in of Obasanjo, we didn't have a copy of the constitution. I didn't know who was printing it. And my ministry was supposed to pay for the printing. And Obasanjo was sworn on a constitution that had not been read by anybody. And the National Assembly could not be constituted until 4 days after he swearing in, because there was no clean copy of the Constitution. You cannot build on quicksand. And the country cannot live on falsehood.
Gustin, can you really believe that we throw in a president without a constitution? I mean, this is disturbing. This is serious. and then we have a document, we call it a constitution. Godson.
Well, Doc, you can hear it from the horse's mouth already. And just like I always said, and I continue to say, Nigeria has a quack constitution. We are operating a quack constitution, a constitution that is not legitimate, because in one of the three features of a constitution is that it has to be legitimate. It has to be the constitution has to remain the supreme law of the land. And a constitution has to be the instrument that guides the ways and manners of governance and the instruments of governance in a country. But then, as at 1999, we had none of that for almost, like Nat said, 6 months, 7 months, a year. And obviously, we know, unfortunately, that was the first time Nigerian military is handing over to a civilian elected democratic government. And because of the horridness of trying to get rid of the military from governance, and the military not having anything on the ground because of the manner in which Abubakar Abdulsalam came into power, they decided to concur information from the 1979 Constitution as amended in 1990 or 1989, 1990 during the IBB's era, and then they added some few flavors on it when they put this 40 old wise men or young wise men together to concord something for them, and they concord this thing together. And Abdulsalam had no choice but just to enforce that upon the democratic elected government, which is absolutely not right. But then it's acceptable in order for the military to give way. And but we expected that when Obasanjo came into power, he would have done the needful by reviewing, getting what we needed is a constitution of the people, the people's constitution, as agreed by the people, as representative of the people, come together to look into the errors put together by the military or their representative during Abdulsalam's era, and amend and adjust the constitution as it will work and favor the entire nations. What we forget to realize in Nigeria is that Nigeria is an entity that is made up of nations, and so we should Nigeria in political terms should be referred as a nation state, because we are a state that is made up of nations. And the issue is about reflecting the constitution, creating a constitution that reflects the image of the nation states or the nations that made up this state, so that everyone has his own equal right within the constitution. But at the moment, there is no reflection of that equal right within this constitution that is being operated today. And as such, there is need for a process that would enable Nigerians, if Nigeria is still going to exist in the next 10 years or 15 years, to have a constitution that will marry the nations together and allow the nations to have a due regard of each other in terms of the equal opportunities and equal rights within the constitution. What stops the Muslim or the Christian community to say, okay, we want to have our own right in the constitution, if the Muslim community will enshrine Sharia and other Islamic orders within the constitution at the expense of the Christian faith? Because Nigeria is a secular society. A secular society allows for every forms of religion, sect to operate and to stand and to remain in good consonance. But that is not the case. It's not reflected very well in the constitution.
Thank you, Mazi.
There's a need for that. So we have to understand that
you've made a very serious question. I'll just ask our friend from Milan, Mark. Mark, is it a review of the constitution we want, an amendment we want, or we want a new constitution if Nigeria is to exist in the next 3 years?
Doc, these are very wonderful conversation going on. The 1999 Constitution was adopted and used as the supreme law of the state. A number of scenarios and constitutional matters suggest that 1999 Constitution has what the legal people call lacuna, gaps and loopholes, and for it to be effective in governance and in politics in Nigeria. These constitutional loopholes, which were not adequately addressed at that time remains the source of the several controversies that continues to threaten our political stability, Doc. Our political stability, our democracy, and democratic transformation in Nigeria is being held under this lacuna in our constitution. So there are salient points that highlights those lacuna. For example, question of citizenship in Nigeria, power transition in Nigeria, power sharing, party conflict, and so many other issues. And these things will continue to reoccur as long as that constitution is still in motion. So it is not about amendments. It is about a total rearrangement of our constitution.
Mark, yes. Some Nigerians have been talking about restructuring. Do you think this will in any way bring about that restructuring? That's question number one. I want you to think seriously about it. Or you think, like some Nigerians are thinking, why is it suddenly the Senate president says, let's talk about these constitution amendments? Is it a way to bring a third term agenda for Buhari, just in case the constitution is now amended and the area of presidency takes a new turn, like it was looking like that during the past mature? You think that somebody could be playing hanky-panky with these so-called amendments going on?
Yes, me and you know that our politicians and lawmakers are up to so many things, They are not as porous as they claim to be. But in this case, there's a strong awareness in the ordinary Nigeria. There is a strong awareness where you cannot begin to act strange again. The youths, ordinary citizens are all eyes open to anything happening now. So yes, there could be some sinister plans, but I don't think it will be brought out, because people will obviously go against any plan, any hidden treacherous plan. The masses are all ready to go against anything anybody does. The constitution matter is a very serious thing. This holds a country. The sovereignty of a country lies in its constitution. So it is a very important time for Nigeria.
How do you think this amendment will solve our insecurity problems? Is this amendment constitution that is more important than solving security problems?
That's a good one, Doc. Yes, somehow it will. One of the grievances coming out of the security problem is because some set of people feel cheated. Some people feel sidelined. Some tribes, some national feel they are not involved in anything in Nigeria. So why should they even do anything? So they go against the laid down rules and they become terrorists in the land. So obviously, when this constitution is looked upon and is well addressed, there will be calm, and security matters will begin to have. There'll be a solution to such, because also the constitution will be addressing some of the things that were not addressed: banditry, terrorism, all these things will now be addressed also in the constitution. It won't be
Let me see if Matt agrees with you. Matt, Nat in London, you agree with our friend Mark that this will resolve the issues of insecurity in Nigeria, this amendment initiated by the Senate president?
No, I mean, it will depend upon the content of the constitution we are looking forward to. But without security, you can't write any new constitution. I think the issue of security must first and foremost be addressed. People are more concerned now after security. Before we are talking of constitutional amendment. the people in the IDP camps, the people in the war front fighting insurgency, bandits, they are not talking about constitutional amendment. They are talking of their lives being secured, and they are talking of
okay. Now let me ask you a serious question. How could the whole country of 200 million discuss the constitutional amendment with just 2 days and lumping states together and say, you 3 states stay here and discuss it in 2 days? And even in Lagos State, they changed the venue from Tafawa Balewa Square to one little hotel in Marriott Hotel that will take only 250.
Well, it shows the type of leaders we have in the country. It shows the quality of minds in the Senate, right from the Senate president to the Speaker of the House, all of them. It shows how no planning, no, they are not even thinking of
how shallow they have been. But listen to this one. In Lagos State, which I happen to know fairly well, they changed the venue suddenly from Tafawa Balewa Square that could have probably taken thousands to 250, and some were just gated outside, and so a scuffle arose. Watch this video clip between Mrs. Oloko and Mrs. Remi Tinubu.
Are you madam? Yes, madam. You don't want to talk, say. I'm not the talk, please. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, madam. I'm your representative. I said, I'm not respectful. Madam, this is how can you call me a dog? How can you call me a dog? He's a public That's very wrong. Don't call her a dog anymore again. That's wrong. Very wrong. Very rude. Very rude. What has she done for you to fight her? To call her a dog? Madam, you need to apologize. Don't come back to confirm for vote. Madam, don't follow her. Madam, don't follow her. Madam, don't follow her.
We did everything to get in touch with Mrs. Arinola Oloko, a gentlewoman we come to know. Throughout that altercation with 3-time Senator Remi Tinubu, Mrs. Oloko never called Mrs. Tinubu any bad name, whereas Mrs. Tinubu called her a thug. In fact, some other places they said it was dog. We had to listen to it technically that she wasn't called a dog, but a thug. And she never replied, and we did everything. Ben Television moved around to see if we could get Mrs. Oloko on the program. Unfortunately, we could not, but a sister television house, Arise, got Mrs. Oloko. You will be the judge because this program we present you the information, but you decide. Listen to the discussion of Mrs. Oloko on Arise Television.
They sent out an invitation and said people should come. There was a public hearing. So we had gone to the public hearing. We had our papers prepared to go and present our papers. So a colleague and I had 2 other colleagues with me from Better Nigeria. Better Nigeria is a non-partisan organization for Association of Nigerians who want to see the glory of Nigeria come back. So we had prepared our document. We were on the queue waiting to go in. People had been going in. They had their own period. I mean, they had cards. They had invites with them that had been given to them ahead of the program. But we didn't mind. We were staying on the queue waiting, only for us to get to the door. And they now said, oh, we're full. We have 250 seats, and that's the capacity. And at that stage, I was like, how can you have 250 seats? This is a program that's supposed to cover Oyo Ogun. and Lagos State. Lagos State alone has a population of over 10 million people. You have asked us to come and hear our voice, to come to consultation. So how can you now tell us now that it's full? And besides, you were supposed to have it at the TBS. Last minute, you changed it to the Marriott. Who does a public hearing at the Marriott? You know, and I was talking to someone and engaging the person, and they were like, oh, I only work for them, or I don't do anything about it. I said, well, okay, if that is the case, get a duty manager, get a screen out here. There are loads of people, not just myself, out here that can't get in. Let us be part of the process. We don't even mind if we're not seated. We will stand and watch. And that was what happened. Then, Madam Senator, my senator, Mrs. Remi Tinubu, came out from the hall. I don't know what they had said to her. She came out and she said, where is that woman? Where's that woman that is talking? Where's that woman? Where's that woman? And I walked from where I was to where she was. And I said, good morning, ma. I have been on the queue for a while trying to get in, and we can't get in. Now they're saying that they're closed. And we really don't understand why we cannot get in, because you have invited us. If you knew that you had a certain number, you should have done an online registration and we'll have registered ahead. Then if we go online and find out that registration is closed, they're full to capacity, then we would understand this. But we wouldn't have come all the way to Ikeja, and then you now say that you only have seats for 250 people. Oh, and she said, before I could even send it, she just went, stop it, stop it, stop it, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Police, come and get this thug out of here. And at that point I said, ma'am, I am not a thug. A thug is a violent person. A thug is a criminal. I am not a thug, and I refuse to be addressed as a thug. I am a Lagosian. I live in Lagos. You are in my constituency. I have a right to ask you or to lay a complaint on the process that I think is wrong. That is what my right is as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that was it. So that's what happened. And then, you know, like the video speaks for itself. But I really don't want us to really dwell on all the video alone. The thing I really want us to look at is that, do they really want us to be part of?
Well, you've had it all from Mrs. Oloko. Who will you vote for to be the next senator in Lagos? Is it Mrs. Tinubu or Mrs. Oloko? Many people have been asking Mrs. Oloko, you need to stand against this woman at the next election. But I cannot see that happen, because we know that the Tinubu dynasty holds on to Lagos like water holds on to the sea. Mazi, number one, how sincere do you think the federal government is to get this constitution amended to suit Nigerians? Number two, is Mrs. Oloko your next senator for Senatorial West of Lagos State?
Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you very much. This is simply to tell you the kind of representatives we have in our national and state assemblies. And some of them really don't understand the essence of being a distinguished senator. When we call them distinguished, sometimes we call them out of some due respect of the word distinguished, not as the person himself has been reflected. Some of them are not absolutely on the frame of being regarded as distinguished in the way they speak, the way they express themselves, and the way they communicate with their constituency members or citizens. And that could be seen here. You know, unfortunately, the federal government is a lacuna itself. Like I said, the National Assembly, irrespective of the fact that it's the hallowed chamber of the nation, is a quack to me. Because this same process that they are doing now was done once between 2013 and 2015, led by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Emeka Ihedioha. And they spend money going around the whole 36 states, trying to do constitutional review, constitutional reform, this, that. And they came out with a communique that they have collected everything they need to collect is about this thing. Where is that document today? Nowhere. So I tell people that this is just an effort in frugality. They go around, look at, nothing has come out of everywhere they have gone. Nobody is giving them the rightful audience. The rightful audience. Why do Nigerians like to orchestrate wastage of resources and brain work? They gather people to waste their brain discussing mental, intellectual discussions that will never materialize in any form, in reality. Then they spend our hard-earned money paying these so-called misquished or misdistinguished individuals or mishonorable individuals. Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu should realize that she wouldn't have won. Well, she didn't win any election because throughout her 3 tenures in the Senate, all the elections conducted in that senatorial zone were all manipulated.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that.
You don't need to know that. It is obvious. She has to also understand that without the thugs in Lagos State, there is no Tinubu. So for her to be calling people in her constituencies thug, that means she herself is the head and the mama of thugs. That's not
well, we don't know that as well.
She is the mama of thugs. Because
no, we don't know. This is a national television.
I know very well. We have to be honest.
On that note, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we will be checking whether Sowore is alive or is dead, because we were told he's shot. Sowore to be shot or not be shot? That is the question. We'll be right back.
It has been 1 year of coronavirus, and that sickness has affected the whole globe. The aftermath will even be worse, the way the scientists are telling us. And we believe that we need to counter it right now. If 1 million souls should do good to 1 other million souls, it will be a better place. So we want to start this project. 1 million souls to do good to 1 million souls. Why don't you join us? You don't have to register anywhere. Follow me on Twitter at Shegun Johnson UK for daily tips. There we show you how to do good to 1 person. Always remember, 1 million souls, do good to 1 million souls.
Ben Television has been going for almost 2 decades now, representing the African, Caribbean, and ethnic communities in the diaspora, especially based in the United Kingdom. We have been providing content, various programs to empower, make an intervention, deliver, and enlighten the mainstream community about what it is to be a BAME in the United Kingdom. For almost 2 decades, this has been our ethos, bridging the gap. Now we seek for your support and partnership in delivering what we need to achieve in the coming generation for our youth, either through training, mentorship, empowerment for their entrepreneurial skill, talent, and in their business. Ben Television, bridging the gap, you're welcome to be with us. Thank you very much for joining and being partners of Ben TV, creating that bridge between the mainstream and the other communities in the United Kingdom and in Europe.
Give yourself away for me.
Thanks for staying with us. The program is You Decide. We want to look at, was Sowore shot by the federal government or his agency? Was he really shot, or he was just making noise out of it? It appears that the social media is divided, and some said he was shot, some not shot. But we want to take a closer view ourselves. Let's look at this picture before the allegedly shooting of Mr. Sowore? Studio, let's look at it from the beginning again, because we want to decide whether he was actually shot. Can we have a look at that picture again from the beginning, please? Well, not very clear. Sorry for the quality of that picture. Nat, we recognize, or we realized that Mr. Sowore was at the station to say some things to the police, and some said tear gas was shot at him. Some said no, it was a bullet. Nat, from your research, what do you think happened to Mr. Sowore?
Well, on that fateful day, I think it was a Monday now or thereabout. In the morning, there was this program on the morning show by Arise TV, and Ruben Abati gave a breaking news to say that Omoyele Sowore has been shot, and that breaking news came from Femi Falana, senior advocate, who was in Lagos at that moment. So as the news filtered out and video clips going viral, we saw the one we have just watched now, though very brief. But if we comment on what we have seen, first we saw something like smoke, and then we saw Sowore falling down and people rushing to help him. This event took place at the Unity Fountain. Is a memorable place in Abuja where people go to either demonstrate, do protest, do so many things to attract the attention of the public. And then there was on the media space, there was this issue of Sowore was shot. Sowore was tear gassed. The police said Sowore was tear gassed. They were responding to Sowore was shot, and so we have really not got a clear and authentic and true picture of what really happened on that spot. But we know that Sowore was rushed to the hospital. We saw one video clip too where I think his right leg or thigh, there was some traces of blood on the body. So yes, this is what we have.
Well, we are yet to know the real position of things, but we saw another clip of Sowore getting into the hospital. Now watch this one. An ambulance was placing Sowore into the hospital. Let's try and get sense out of all of this.
Where's the rapper? Somebody called me, was just insisting on where I was.
And she shot him at close range.
Yeah, very close.
I know her very well. She's like that.
Constantly, she's always there.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
I don't call him safe.
Can you imagine?
I don't text him. But you know.
Can you imagine? I can't you shoot somebody at close range like this.
And he was like, you just shot me, you just shot me. And she was like yeah, what's that was it for me actually. It's one thing to be like,
I was shocked. I just feel like,
Then you do I beg, can one of you give him a helping hand? Turn around. Let's go. The thing is, it's there, it's lodged there, the bullet is lodged there. The bullet is there.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
Matt, Mark in Milan.
Yes,
you think Sowore was shot or not?
Well, there are so many twists to the story. We're still trying to really confirm. But there is a video that was shared yesterday, and it showed the canister that the police claimed they used. The canister was placed after the shooting. So that smoke you see was from a canister being dropped by the man on white. He came after they've shot Sowore. He came and placed that canister. Let us note that there is every reason to want to silence him. Sowore is a prominent Nigerian activist, and his website, Sahara Report, gives out information and so many occurrences in Nigeria, mostly hidden occurrences. Sowore has been on this mission for some time now. His lawyer, the human rights Femi Falana, also confirms that yes, he was shot on the phone. But we are yet to ascertain, because also if you look at the wound, a close range shoot, gunshot doesn't look like that. Yes. Close range of shot doesn't come in that form. It doesn't just have that small pierce. It's actually, it penetrates. It's deeper than that. So we are not very sure what has happened, if it was a gunshot or a wound, a knife cut or something. But believe me, that cut on his body is not gone. It has nothing to do with bullet in human body. That's not the impact you have. But we want to, whatever it is, gunshot or knife, they shouldn't do that to him. That's what we are.
Let's hear from Mazi Gosling. Who wants Sowore dead? Government or some interest in Nigeria?
Doc, to be honest, I like my friend Mark said, I still think there is a conspiracy cover up in this whole story. And to be very honest, as I said, I obviously looked at so many of these videos. I looked at Sowore when he was pointing to the wound. The wound doesn't look obvious, as they said, close range shot.
Yes.
A close range shot, the bullet will penetrate through the thigh to the other end of the thigh.
Yeah, exactly.
And the blood gushing there, nobody will near where Sowore is when the blood is gushing. And the impact of that close range, if it tears any of Sowore's veins that links to his arteries in the system, he will be dead in 10-15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look. Studio, let's have a look at that. Studio, let's have a look at that wound.
Shot by a CSP of Nigerian Police Office, Nigerian Police Force. Shot me on my thigh.
On his leg.
Yes, on my thigh.
Showore has been shot on his leg. Please break the news. Showore has been shot on his leg. Break the news. Yes.
You can obviously hear the guy saying Showore has been shot on the thigh. Break the news. He said we should be careful the way we disseminate social media publicity. And it's either goes in your favor or goes against you if people begin to do forensic analysis or in-depth investigation, independent investigation on that matter, irrespective of the fact that we know that Showore is an activist. He has been an activist all his life. But then we have to be careful the way we want to use every platform, every opportunity to create a news awareness or to create a public.
Well, how did he get that wound? How did he get that wound? It
could have been a shot from a very far distance. It could have been a rubber bullet. It could have been even the canister that would have gone with its momentum when it was thrown and hit him on the eye.
He was shot, but not at a short range.
It could have been an impact of anything. But for one thing, that gunshot could have come from at least 300, 400, 500 yards away from where he is. And
okay, so do we all agree? Wait, Gustin, do we all agree that Showore was shot at? We don't know whether it was a short range or a long range or a canister. So somebody shot at him. Will that be a basic position?
Well, that would be a basic observation that Showore was shot, but not on a close range. But from a distance, he was shot, and the impact of the bullet tear his thighs. Because what that thing did was to tear his thighs. And the only way to disprove it is if they will be honest enough. Because what I see in the whole drama of the video clip is somebody or some few people want to make this a news-breaking story.
But who wants him? Quickly, who wants him dead? Who wants him dead?
Well, you cannot say who wants anybody dead. It's like you saying that who wants Golok dead? Who wants Golok dead? And he ended up died. You could say like who wants the former chief of army staff dead? And he ended up dying. So you cannot say who wants anybody dead. There are many people who wants you dead. If you are too much in the eye of the public and too much in the eye of the government. So people that want you dead may be in the system. The people that want you dead may be outside the system. So it depends on disfiguring or deducing the conspiracy activities going on in Nigeria for you to be able to point hand or finger point anybody that wants anybody, the other person dead in Nigeria. There are too many people colliding together in Nigeria. Some want to, some don't want to. So
let's see how this works. We know that we are in a generation of assassination, kidnapping, banditry, and all sorts of things that we never imagined Nigeria would be. But that's where we have found ourselves. And people have been saying, we want to go away, but the federal government is saying, no, we have to follow the constitution. On the 31st of May, the Biafra movement, indigenous people of Biafra, they made a proclamation, nobody must go out in Southeast to commemorate the loss of their loved ones, and of course, to declare that they are a nation unto themselves. Largely, many people cooperated and the place was quiet. But outside of the Southeast in other countries, the IPOP people, indigenous people of Biafra, they celebrated. Now watch this one as they celebrate in Europe. Mark in Milan, what's the significance of this? Please tell our viewers, they are dying to know what's the significance. Yes. Did you see some Caucasians, a few Caucasians dancing and marching there? Do they know what they're dancing to?
Yes, the very good one, Doc. First of all, let me say that 30th of May of every year should actually be a remembrance day for lost souls, children, mothers, fathers, uncles that we lost during the Biafran War of 1960s. That being said, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, that is being headed by Nnamdi Kanu, a separatist group and a proscribed group also. They made it something of significance, remembering these war victims that we don't really remember. It's important to note to say that that day is a significant day in the heart and the mind of the Igbos. So it is not about the IPOB. It is not about some set of people taking it up as if it's they masterminded it. No, it is that a time, a day should be set aside to remember those people that died as a result of the Biafran War. Now, that being said, yes, this year, the IPOB people, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, they made it like a mandate that the southeast of Nigeria should be on lockdown in commiserating to this event. And somehow it played out. It worked. A lot of the states were on total lockdown. In fact, you had situations where people that forcefully wanted to do something had some misfortune coming their way as a result of trying to forcefully go out. You see accidents and a lot of all that. So it's a very important day, actually. The average Igbo man went through some really hard time in the 60s, and Nigeria as a country should give that respect and make that day a special day to remember, at least remember these people, fallen soldiers, remember these people that died in the quest for their request. So IPOB took it on. It went
let me ask Nat, to what extent do you think this will happen? I mean, Biafra Republic, and was this May 31st silence, was it effective? Nat.
Okay, I think what let's put it in a historical perspective. The Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970, was a war between the declared Republic of Biafra and Nigeria, and let's zero it into the geographical area where was the battlefront, the southeast, and some Southeasterners died. Nigerians died outside the southeast who are involved in this war thing, and so if we really want to have a national monument or cenotaph, it should be something done by the federal government of Nigeria, because the war was fought to keep Nigeria one, and our concern, our sympathy and concern goes to the main theater of war where most of the people died. but it should be seen as a national thing. But what we are now seeing, like it is now IPOB that is taking up the responsibility, not even Mossab or any other cultural group in the Southeast. So we should put it in a proper perspective. And again, the issue of lockdown has a very, very negative effect on the individuals, the businesses, the economy, the political stability. And we see what happened this year. It coincided with so many things happening. The arsonists in the Southeast, people, unknown gunmen killing people right across the Southeast, public facilities being burnt down, INEC offices, police stations, correctional centers. And I don't think that is the best way to celebrate, or that the best way to remember the blessed memory of those who lost their lives in that struggle.
Okay, thank you very much. Mazi, why can't we do something like a cenotaph day for those who lost their lives during the Nigerian Civil War?
Thank you, Doc. I think for me, this is a strong beginning for the people of the Southeast, the Igbo people in Nigeria. Some people may have not experienced, may not have a family experience as a result of the 1967, 1973 and 3 years war. I personally have an experience because my own father lost his house to the Nigerian army when they captured my village. My father's house became the garrison station for the Nigerian army in my town. My parents were chased into the bush. My father lost 5 of my elder siblings. Out of 7 children, only 2 of us left after the war from my father and my mother. And the trauma of losing those children caused my mother's death after 2 years of my birth. I was 70. We were the children of the war, after war. And so I know what it feels like. And you have to remember that over 1.5 million children died in the Southeast as a result of the psychology of the war. What was the psychology of the war? When Awolowo and the group sabotaged the inflow of war aid and foods into the East, more people died as a result of the end of the war in 1968, 69 to 70, than people died at the war field. And so we expect that when Nigeria is commemorating the Armed Forces Day or the Nigerian Armed Forces Day, they should make it an encompass. But you know that they disseminated the Biafran army. They didn't recognize them into the system anymore. And as such, there was no way to commemorate those Biafran souls that died, even the children that died. So whenever they do Nigerian Armed Forces Day, they remember the armies that died in the Civil War, but not the Biafran soldiers that died in the Biafran War. When you say no winner, no vanquish, you should bring everybody together in remembrance of the sacrifice they paid, irrespective of making Nigeria to remain one. But when one side is celebrating the lost soldiers and the other side has no way to celebrate their lost ones in memory after 50 years or 50-something years now. So I feel that you don't win war by emotions. You win war by psychology. And that's what you call the psychology of war. By traumatizing the mind of finding the weaknesses of your enemy and traumatizing them with it. And that's what killed the Civil War. And so, for me, I think this is not an issue of IPOB alone. There are so many organizations involved in making this happen at the 31st of May.
Was it effective? Was it effective?
Look, what it shows to Nigeria now is the psychology reaction of the Igbos. The rest of the country will begin to rethink that if the Igbos at this point, when people say that the Igbos are, remember the Igbos are known as Republicans, and Republicans work by the informations from the hoods. And if at this point an instruction or an order is given that every client begin to buy into that order, irrespective of where the order comes from, for the unity of the common Igbo man. And that worked at the 31st by silencing the complete commune of the society across the 5 states of the Igbo land. That shows that one day, if the Igbos rise to carry arms together and go to war again, it's going to be the most disastrous time and era in this generation, if that should happen.
But we don't want the war, do we?
So it says, no, this is a sign of a psychological attempt to go beyond emotional feelings of war, but getting to the point of a psychological direction of collective mindedness of people rising against the injustice and the reputation of disdain to a common nation that makes a nation state in a country. And if you can bring almost 10 million people to sit at home in one day, there is the potential opportunity that if time is not taken, as the time bomb is thinking, one day these guys will rise in their millions and stand against any form of challenges and victimization and injustice, subjection, deducement of the humanity of the people of Igbo land. And so the psychology is already biting in.
Okay, Mazi,
So
we have to go on a break right now.
the Nigerian government
We have to go on a break right now. When we return, we want to show the other side of the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi. We never knew he could sing. We never knew he was going to church. But here we will see when we return, Rotimi Amechi singing from the Psalms. You've never seen this before. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Ben Television has been going for almost 2 decades now, representing the African, Caribbean, and ethnic communities in the diaspora, especially based in the United Kingdom. We have been providing content, various programs to empower, make an intervention, deliver, and enlighten the mainstream community about what it is to be a BAME in the United Kingdom. For almost 2 decades, this has been our ethos, bridging the gap. Now we seek for your support and partnership in delivering what we need to achieve in the coming generation for our youth, either through training, mentorship, empowerment for their entrepreneurial skill, talent, and in their business. Ben Television, bridging the gap, you're welcome to be with us. Thank you very much for joining and being partners of Ben TV, creating that bridge between the mainstream and the other communities in the United Kingdom and in Europe.
Schengen Story Magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story Magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story Magazine. Get Schengen Story Magazine full editions.
It has been 1 year of coronavirus, and that sickness has affected the whole globe. The aftermath will even be worse, the way the scientists are telling us. And we believe that we need to counter it right now. If 1 million souls should do good to 1 other million souls, it will be a better place. So we want to start this project. 1 million souls to do good to 1 million souls. Why don't you join us? You don't have to register anywhere. Follow me on Twitter at Shegun Johnson UK for daily tips. There we show you how to do good to one person. Always remember, 1 million souls, do good to 1 million souls.
Thanks for staying with us. The program is You Decide. We give you information, facts, and analysis, but at the end of the day, you decide. Now, we've never seen this side of Rotimi Amaechi, the Minister for Transport in Nigeria. He apparently goes to church. Not only that, he sings, and we've seen him now. Many people say, well, he's been doing some work, at least some railways he's been presenting for Nigeria. Never mind the standard or the quality of the railway. Never mind that people are stealing from the laid-down rails. Very appalling on his own and condemnable outrightly. But Rotimi Amaechi can sing. One wonders whether he should be singing or he should be doing his work. Listen to the Minister of Transport in Nigeria, Rotimi Amaechi, in a church-like situation and singing with his family, spiritual family, and biological family. Watch this.
OBBlowmusic.com.
The people the Lord has chosen as his heritage.
Bless the people the Lord has chosen as his heritage.
The word of the Lord is faithful, and all his works to be trusted. The Lord loves justice and right, and his merciful love is the end.
Bless the people the Lord has chosen as his heritage. Bless the people the Lord has chosen as his heritage.
The word of the Lord, the heavens were made. By the breath of his mouth, of their host, he spoke and it came to be. He commanded, it stood in place.
Bless the people the Lord has chosen as his heritage. Bless the people chosen as his heritage.
Yes, the Lord's eyes are on those who fear him, who believes merciful love, to rescue their souls from death, keep them alive in famine.
Bless the people the Lord has chosen as his heritage. Bless the people the Lord has chosen as his heritage.
Wow, wow, wow. How will I know that he could sing and his wife as well? But he chose Psalm 33. Nat, I know you are a Christian and you love God. Is this the way to go? The people are praying and the ministers are praying. That is, the cabinet ministers are praying, but nobody appears to be doing the real work. Or what's your take on this one, Nati Yako?
This was a birthday celebration, and
Okay.
most people will do anything on their birthdays. And
Okay.
The honorable minister himself really he wasn't in a singing mood, and his body language didn't really show he put in seriousness into the song he was singing. It looks like the wife did better, the children also
And the wife could sing as well, isn't he?
the children
But did
did
you
better.
hear the lyrics? The lyrics taken from Psalm 33 says, "Blessed people the Lord has chosen as his heritage." Is his family the blessed people alone in Nigeria? Because Amechi has never worked one day in his life except as a politician, 2-time speaker in the House of Assembly in Rivers, 2-time governor in the governor's seat in Rivers State, and now is 2-time minister at the federal level. Any work outside of politics he has never done. Is he telling us that is the blessed people of the Lord and they are the heritage of the Lord, and the rest of us should just shut up our mouth?
Well, before he became speaker, he used to be a houseboy to one of the politicians.
Odili.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to call the name of the person, but I know Amechi was a houseboy, cleaner rather, and before he got into
But
politics.
he went to the University of Port Harcourt, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to University of Port Harcourt. I think first of all he went to a college of education, then before he went to the university. And I understand in the university he used to borrow clothes of his friends to wear on outings.
So his own story is from rag to riches.
Yeah, so something like that. And then, but you know how he became governor. He thought it was Supreme Court governorship like Imo State.
Oh yes, I remember very well.
Yes.
Let's hear from our colleagues. Mazi Kanu, Mazi Azu, your friend is a good singer, and what do you think of that one? Is the blessed people of the heritage of the Lord? How about the rest of us? Azu? Oh, looks like Azu's picture is frozen there. Mark in Milan.
Yes,
What
sir.
do you say? What's your take on singing minister?
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful one. Acknowledging one's creator and acknowledging God on a day like your birthday is good. He's not much of a good singer anyway. He has like our kind of voice, coarse and very rugged voice. So, but the music, the lyrics of the music is what I listen to, and I say, well, that's not bad. He's thanking God. Blessed are the people. Well, we will not say he's referring to himself alone. That psalm is to the people, and really.
So which people, Mark? Is it the people who are in penury? Or people who couldn't get hospital to go?
Oh, yeah, that's sad. But
no, I'm not asking. I mean, I'm not knocking the scriptures. I'm just saying that which people are blessed? People who have not eaten, or himself who have had three square meals.
Yes,
I mean,
let's take it that it's people generally that are of godly mind and. People that are also alive, blessed are those people, because we just passed through the corona pandemic and a lot of people died. Not that we are better, but it's a grace we enjoy. So he's thanking God for that grace, and that's beautiful. Also,
so do we then ask, so what is wrong with Nigerians praying and praying, and people complain they are praying, so what is wrong with that one then? Because people think the government should be working strenuously against all odds. I'm not against individuals.
Yes, that's the point, Doc. In fact, that's something we should deliberate on a special day on its own. Nigerians talk so much about God and do little to enforce the power of God working in them.
So the minister has joined them.
Yeah, no. Well, the minister is just singing his own song. That's just him.
Okay. We took his song to the ministers in London and showed them the video, and they looked at it and said Psalm 33 is good for him to sing because he could identify with it. But listen to what the ministers told us they could identify with as Nigerians. They took us to Psalm 37. And so we got some musicians together to say, can you please help us with Psalm 37? As this song goes, we will be showing the wordings of Psalm 37 so that the minister could juxtapose the two and see that he is comfortable with Psalm 33. Nigerians are talking about Psalm 37. Studio.
Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act. Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act. Don't worry about evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. Don't worry about evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. For like grass, they'll soon fade away. Yes, like grass, they'll soon fade away. So don't worry about their wicked schemes. No, don't worry about their wicked schemes. So don't worry about their wicked schemes. So don't worry about their wicked schemes.
Well. Psalm 37, in contrast to that Psalm 33 says, fret not yourself because of evil doers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Do good, do good. Psalm 37 appears to say to all people, ministers and the rest of us. Is the Mazi okay now with his picture? Mazi, Azu? Oh, we still have problems with it. Okay, Nat, what do you think?
Well, I will go for Psalm 91, which.
So we have to sing another Psalm. Okay, can you put it in a song? Because I think I know Psalm 91.
No, I can't put it in a song.
Is that not the he that dwelleth in the secret place of
God? Yeah, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
And they shall be. Okay, maybe we'll get that one ready for you for next. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And what will say of the Lord? He is my refuge and my fortress. Come on, Nat.
Wow.
So what do you want to say to the minister now that we are waging a war of Psalms? What do you want to say to the minister?
The Honorable Minister of Transport.
Yes. Is it about singing Psalms now, or we should be doing some serious work moving away from old railway gauge to modern technology?
I think it's walking the talk.
Go on.
So what we want to see action on ground. We want to see that everybody is considered and taken care of, especially in our various sphere of life as human beings. We have a duty to humanity, and especially the times in which we are in, especially the challenges we are facing in Nigeria as a nation, as a country. Everybody has its own part to play and should be seen to be playing positively that part towards moving Nigeria forward.
Nat, you recall that the INEC chairman, Professor Yakubu, visited President Buhari and said that at least some 16 INEC headquarters have been burnt down, and going like this, there may not be election 2023. And what was the reply of Buhari just in 30 seconds?
Well, Buhari told them that he's going to shock those people who are trying to, who have been burning down INEC offices and killing policemen, killing others. It's going to give them a shock of their life. And
why couldn't he shock Boko Haram all these days and shock bandits in Zamfara? Why is he just going to shock them futuristic? He's going to shock them. Why didn't he shock them all these days?
Again, the body that went to visit him was a National Electoral Commission. But yes, his comments boiled down to one section of the country, Southeast. He said he was going to speak to them the language that they understand.
If he couldn't win in Northeast, what gave him the impression he will win in Southeast?
Well, that is the illusion. Every politician, that is the world they live in. They can win even if there's a world election, they will win. When they cannot even win in their world.
Let's just wrap this up now. Mark, what's your last take for today? President Buhari is going to shock the troublemaker.
Yes, but before then, my own last, my own version of the Psalm will be Psalm 51.
Oh, you have Psalm 51. Oh my word! 51. What does Psalm 51 say? Come on, tell me.
Have mercy upon us, O God, according to your loving kindness, according to your great multitude of compassion. Blot out our transgressions, wash us thoroughly from all our iniquities. For we acknowledge our sins, and our sins are always before us.
Was that not the psalm that David? Was that not the psalm that David wrote when he finished committing adultery with Bathsheba?
Yes, that goes.
There is a song in that psalm, you know, creating me a new heart.
Wow,
you know that song?
Yeah, I've not heard the song. So that goes
me,
for,
oh Lord, a new heart, and renew your spirit within me.
Cast me not away.
Cast me not away.
Oh Lord,
yes, you know the song.
The Holy Spirit from us.
Yes.
Restore unto us the joy of our salvation, and renew the right spirit.
Spirit within me. Well, wow. That's it, folks. That's it all. That's how far we can go today. I thank you, Mark from Milan. I thank you, Nat from London. Thank you, Mazi Azu, even though you need to upgrade your broadband so that you do everything. And I want to thank you all viewers for watching. It's been a fantastic 2-hour program, especially those in the studio who could make this possible. Anthony, All Saint, Hazel, we thank you all. And we also, of course, have to thank our executive producer, Dr. Alistair Shoyode. Until next Wednesday, when we bring in things that are happening all over the world. My name is Shegun Johnson. The program is You Decide. God bless you all.